Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2. Before we begin today's festivities, is that what we're going to call it? I'm going to be hosting a 2-year anniversary stream on this channel, because we've been at this for 2 years. We've done alright for 2 years, I think, and I thought we'd go through a few videos later on this evening that I've put to one side essentially, giving us some themes, topics, and answer any and all questions you may well have. Today we're going to look at 2 videos that cover body positivity in different ways. One speaking from a position of what is considered to be a form of acceptance. It's not. The second, a practical way of helping oneself deal with their body positivity overflowing a bit too much. You may well recognize the first person we cover, as we have on this channel covered them before. The second we have not covered before.
I've spent the majority of my life in a space where the only option was to change my body.
As is well established, I'm quite fond of the anecdote, especially when it accompanies a larger message.
To lose weight, to be a smaller person.
Am I right to assume then that you reached middle age and decided, I don't care anymore? Or you stopped caring about what other people thought about you? Or you're making this up? Or you never did that in the first place and you've always been larger anyway, because food is delicious. And I can wholeheartedly agree, but I am well known for going to the gym every single day and I do put in rather lengthy sessions.
And in the past 5 to 6 years, I have been trying to be better about just being okay with the skin that I'm in.
When you get to a certain size, you have no choice unless you pay the price. The price being to remove the skin that you're in because you're so big or you've lost so much weight, you are carrying a pouch, a pocket, a parachute. Of course, I wholeheartedly endorse the message of being comfortable in the skin that you are in. I do also believe, though, that you should not promote unhealthy habits, like eating to excess on a daily basis to maintain a size where your skin does stretch, so that when you do eventually find the fortitude to bring it down, you aren't carrying a scar, a reminder of your past, something that will make you feel remarkably guilty.
Being neutral about the body that I'm in.
The only way you could ever truly be neutral about the body that you are in is when you get to a point where your habits, your lifestyle becomes muscle memory. That can exist for those who are considered healthier and those that are considered unhealthier, because it does become a muscle memory to go to the shops, buy a bag of crisps, a large chocolate bar and an energy drink, or a fizzy drink of some kind that is quite unhealthy in nature for your body. So if we are to be a little pedantic, there is often a form of neutrality. Hell, I'm fairly neutral about the body I'm in, but that's because everything I do on a daily basis. It's almost routine, but it's one I like. Can you honestly say the same about your own?
And I want to point something out that's very important, I think, in this climate of the plus size communities and things that are going on in the world.
Can I start? Would that be okay? I'd like to start by saying there is an increase in body positive influencers who are at a younger age than my own, in fact, passing away because of complications brought on because of their body positivityness, because of their acceptances of the rotund variety. I'm sure many can be attributed to other health complications, but the fact remains, this is not a good thing. The average life expectancy is going down in some countries. It's going down because of gluttony and other complications from other health conditions, of course, many of which, can in fact be attributed to obesity. Yes, I spelt it with letters as opposed to saying it. YouTube are funny about words.
2 things can be true at the same time. People can live in their bodies and be okay with how they are, but people can also want to change.
Yes, this in fact can be true if you roll a d6 for initiative and or intelligence, yes, d6, or if you shook your magic 8 ball, perhaps consulted your mood ring. You can accept who you are, but realistically you cannot want to change at the same time, unless you are being the type to say, I accept that this is the body I have, but I want to change it, which I believe is how you're interpreting how they can both be the same. I stand by my suggestions of mood ring and whatever the other 2 are that I've already forgotten, because this is how important it is to me.
2 things can be true at the same time, because ultimately, body shapes, body sizes, the way that we exist in our skin is a personal choice.
You are 100% correct. It is a personal choice. People take their personal choices to social media, They share it on their respective platforms, some of which are built on communities that then build echo chambers that then enable certain negative traits in humanity that needs to be purged, along with the rest of humanity, just to be safe. That personal choice defines you as a person. Those personal choices start when you're children and you judge things without knowing what they are, like foods you don't like to eat. Vegetables, for example. We, much like our palates though, change as we get older. We become different people throughout our lifetime. Some, though, make the conscientious choice to stay where they are. There's nothing wrong with that, unless that choice involves staying where they are and just consuming and doing nothing. This invariably gets attributed to mental health issues, physical health ailments, and so on. Excuses often found for why you can't do something without providing one reason why you can do something. Your personal choice is self-destructive.
It is an individual choice. But also, at the same time, if we're going to change the way that we look, we also shouldn't be doing it at the expense of other people and using other people and making other people feel bad in that process, because just because you want to change doesn't mean that the way that they look is wrong.
Firstly, and this is quite important, if I'm going to make a choice about my body, which I'm not, I'm swole, I don't care, I'm gorgeous, reflection, perfection, I don't care if that comes at the expense of another person. Do you know why? Because I'm not going to allow another person's ill feeling about my accomplishments and what I do with my body inhibit my ability to improve my life, my longevity, my physique, and so on. I can have a very healthy and or unhealthy relationship with food if I want, but I have to earn the right to be able to eat those foods to the level I would want to eat them, without compromising who I am at the same time. Quite frankly, those who do not appreciate the changes one makes with their body need to grow up, because it is a them problem, not a me problem or an anyone else problem who is trying to change their life. I'm not trying to change my life. Again, swole, reflection, perfection. You're a moron for promoting that kind of attitude. To the second video, we go to an individual who I have seen many videos of, and I'll be honest, I don't take as much of an issue with them most of the time, because sometimes they just say what needs to be said in a blunt manner when it comes to washing while a larger person, but then solutions being presented to provide a body type they like. This one intrigues me.
In order for this to work, this glue needs to be fully dry. If you are unsure of how wide of a strip you need of glue, just use your tape to measure.
I've seen this creator tweeted out by Alan Roberts, and I think maybe at one point Libs of TikTok, I can't be certain. There are others that promote healthier lifestyles on their Twitter, and I think I've seen their content through them as well. And the majority of the time when I've seen them, I thought nothing of it. What we are seeing in this video is an individual applying an adhesive to their abdominal region. Why will become apparent soon. But I'm going to preface this by saying, if you have to go to the lengths this person has to go to make yourself look a way that you think is better for yourself, then would it not be more advantageous to seek a permanent change that could in turn give you that? Of course, when you get to a certain point and you cross the line of no return, the way to go back may require assistance in the form of a surgery or two. Removals of, again, the earlier mentioned parachute, perhaps. But then, if you are unwilling to commit to those changes or you cannot afford those changes, you seek alternative methods. In some instances, when people go to the extremes that some go to present themselves as one thing but really be something else, it can be considered a form of catfishing. I think it's just fraud personally, but I'm a dickhead. Why do I care?
Right now you can see how easily my hand comes off. It's not dry yet. Now look how much wider the new tape is compared to the old tape. Okay, that's going to make a world of difference in lifting my stomach.
So now you know the premise. The premise is to elevate the stomach to a level where it is less drooped. Some call this a fupa or a gunt, right? It is the part where it overhangs significantly. Not going to judge that. Many people have it because of health problems. Childbirth, of course, does cause issues as well for some. Not going to judge that. This individual is very much accepting of who they are and what they've done. So I'm not going to be drawn in on other people's personal experiences and why they may need this. I had thought perhaps this tape would have helped with backache perhaps, And that was a legitimate thought, not me going, oh, your back must be killing you if your spine hasn't already turned to dust. No. We're being reasonable here and sensible and trying our best not to be a massive cock.
So when I measure out the tape, I don't want to measure it the full length the way I'm going to put the glue because the tape is going to stretch. About that much is going to be good for this middle strip. I'm going on top of my stomach. I'm not going under my stomach because that's going to make it fold and that's going to put too much weight on the tape. And I'm going to push it up about halfway. I'm going to make sure that this part is firmly pressed. I'm going to use this part to lift and then place the tape. And you can see it is lifting my stomach.
Well, I guess it is a cheaper alternative to having surgery where it would be more permanent. Although, if you commit to something like this and you're having to spend that on a regular basis, there is always a chance you'd spend more money buying that tape and that glue than you would on the surgery that could in fact help you if you and after you, that's what I meant to say, commit to changing your ways first to prove you are deserving of such assistance. You don't have to be skinny. People seem to think that you have to be skinny. I don't know why.
I'm just going to use this tape to lift my stomach. Then that's what I wanted. I wanted it to lift. Now I'm going to attempt to pull my shapewear up and know it's not sticking anywhere. That's what I wanted.
I'm sure I'm not the only person that has looked at what you've done, assessed it, evaluated it and thought, ew. At the same time, it is somewhat impressive that one would go to such extremes to make themselves look like what they are not, because you are not entirely comfortable in the skin you are in, because your skin has given up on you a little bit. It can be argued, and I will certainly argue, that this is a form of denial, which does in fact mean it falls under the 5 stages of grief, although in this case gives the individual using it grief. And when someone asks why in the comments, thank you. There is only a little bit more of that video and I don't really want to play it. Instead, I'm going to say thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I will happily read all of those later tonight. And I hope to see you all tonight on Omegon 2 this channel for that live stream. Bye!